Hey everybody, welcome to Journey Through the Generations, and we're back with another episode of the Relative Race recap. This day 5, halfway through. Very, very, very good episode.
Yes, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. It was so good. I can't wait to talk more about it.
And so the one thing that, I don't know how to say this without people getting in their feelings, but
Carefully.
Team Black needs to chill out for a minute.
It's just one of them.
And I really, maybe it's being done in the background, but Sean can try to help, relax her just a little bit, 'cause Casey is still hurt.
She was still upset about the getting in last place. She got a strike. They got a strike last week, and she continued to blame Team Green because of that penalty that they gave him last week.
And she's just doing a whole lot.
She was extra today.
She's doing a lot for a team that can't even see what she's doing.
That's the thing about, because, most competitions, you're with your competition, in a basketball game or any other type, like a maze race, you usually see your competition. But this one, you literally are in a car with your partner, not with the other teams.
Yeah, and the other team, it's not like you're doing the challenge with them.
And you can see them.
Or what they're doing and they know what you're doing. Be competitive and, say, hey, we're going to go out and compete and do well. That's fine. But it's just a little bit too much for me. Yes. But I can do without that. So
she started the day out with her competitive nature.
Yeah. I thought maybe, after she got some good rest and sleep, she would wake up and she would say, okay, yesterday I was shocked by the, strike and I was upset, but, now
it's a new day.
Yeah, it's a new day. We're going to get started. We're going to compete hard. Just do what we need to do. But it was not that. So.
She woke up talking about Team Green.
Yeah.
But let's remind everybody that Team Blue won on day 4. So they got the prize for day 5, which was they got their city destination the night before on the call with Dan. So they woke up this morning and they already knew where they were going and already had the opportunity to get it all mapped out.
Yeah, and the good thing about that is, their cousin Aaliyah was talking about how she had a broken phone and had the pictures and video of her mom who had passed away, and they got a chance to take it with them to get repaired. And so because they had a little bit of time, at least that they felt they had a little bit more time, they could stop and try to drop it off and try to get it fixed. And
that was really nice of them.
Yeah, it really was.
That was really something special that they wanted to do for her.
I think I might have said, okay, I'll take it, but after the race is over, I'll get it fixed and sent it back to you.
That would be exactly what we would have done.
Yeah. So everybody did their thing in the morning, hanging out with their family before it was time to go. And they finally got the text from Dan, and it was time to drive. So what were the time drives like for today?
Team Black had a 1 hour and 31 minute drive. Team Green had a 2 hour and 4 minute drive time. Team Blue had a 2 hour and 15 minute drive time. And Team Red had the longest drive time of 5 hours and 6 minutes.
So here's the thing that I found interesting about their drive is that both Team Green and Team Red received phone calls from the family members that they just met, in
the last
few days.
Which I don't think they've ever done that before.
Not that I can remember. But I found it odd that Team Black and Team Blue did not get a call, or maybe they did and we just didn't see it.
Right, or they'll get a call on the next day.
Yeah,
next week.
I thought that was interesting.
Yes, it was, but they were really excited to hear from them. So that was nice and very unexpected. So
Yeah, because when you meet your relative, it's such a short visit. You know, you're not there long.
yeah,
And you wake up the next morning and you got to go. And you just met your relatives for the first
Yeah,
time.
you
So
don't
you
know-
don't want to leave.
you don't really know how long that call with Dan is. So that eats up a little bit of your time with your relative that evening as well.
Yep. So I found that really interesting. What else happened during the drive? Not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot.
The Team Green sent Team Black a text message, and I thought it was really nice.
It
and
was.
trying to keep the peace and
Yeah.
be positive.
Yeah.
And Casey was just ready to go
Go
all
in.
on them, but Sean was able to talk them down.
I think they ended up not responding at all to it. So Team Green never got a response.
Yeah, at least that we saw.
But it seemed like the drive was pretty smooth for everybody. Everybody got their city selfie done relatively quick, according to what we saw. Nobody had any trouble with their photos or their cameras or anything like that. So that part of it all went really smooth.
Yep. So, of course, everybody headed to the spots where they were getting their city selfies. And then, of course, after their selfie, they got the address of where the challenge was.
Yes.
And so I didn't get the name of the challenge.
The name of the challenge was Don't Get Mad.
Okay.
Get Even.
Okay. So the challenge was they had to use items that were on the table to balance,
Like on a seesaw
like a seesaw
type
or
thing?
something like that. And they were able to brace it while they put items on the seesaws, is what I'm going to call it. And it had to stay up 5 seconds.
Yes.
And so, of course, everybody struggled with this.
Yes, because they had, typical items. They had teddy bear. They had a frisbee, a slide.
Yeah, I saw a plunger.
A plunger, paper towels. They had common items, so it wasn't like, heavy stuff that they had to do. So they had to split it up on each side, but evenly.
Yeah, and as soon as I saw it, I go, okay, this is going to be hard.
Yes, because if you drop everything, then you have to start all over.
Right. And I don't know, I think Team Black said that at first they didn't remember that they could actually hold the seesaw up while they put their items on the seesaw. So it kept falling and everything kept falling off. So they were wasting time trying to do it.
Yeah, in the beginning. And then they remembered that they could brace it. And then they got into their groove. And they actually did something that I probably wouldn't have thought of. They took the paper towels and actually tore them off to help balance another side when they needed more weight on another side.
Yeah, I thought that was really smart for them to do, which I found interesting because maybe I didn't hear the instructions correctly, but I thought you had to use all the items that were on the table. But, there were some items still on the floor.
Right.
And then they had the paper towels in their hand.
Yeah.
And so, and the other teams too, it wasn't just Black.
They all had a couple of items that weren't being used.
Yep. So I think I may have just didn't hear the instructions, the rules correctly, and maybe there was a certain number of
items you had to use. Maybe.
Yeah. So that's probably.
Yeah, we're gonna go with that.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. So, yeah, it looked really hard.
It looked really hard, and it looked like all the teams had the same problems. So it didn't look like one team did outstandingly well over the rest of them. So it looked like it, leaving with their address to their relative's house, it looked like they were pretty even to me.
Yeah. And like you said, what Team Black did I thought was pretty smart for them to do. Like once you get really close to it being balanced, just start using the
paper towels
to help go
tear
one
out 3
way
or 4
or the
sheets
other
and bundle them up.
Yep. And all you have to do is make it stay up for 5 seconds. So
5 seconds.
Yep. So that was really good. So of course, everybody finished the challenge, and then it was off to their relative's house. Before we move on to who each team met, if you're enjoying this content and what we're doing, you like the relative race recaps, please share with a friend, subscribe to the podcast, and let them know that we're recapping relative race each week throughout the entire season. I'm going to put in the description box all of our social media and how to contact us. And we'd appreciate you just to share with your genealogy buddies and friends that we have a podcast and we're here doing good content. So as we move on to who each team met.
Before that.
Did I miss something?
No. I just wanted to mention that after the challenge and they got their relatives' address, Team Red stopped somebody right outside of their challenge and asked them if they were local. And they were. And they asked them if they knew where this address was.
Yeah.
And they said, yes, we'll take you there. And so they followed them. And at first it looked like they were going away from where the GPS was supposed to take them. So they didn't know if they needed to continue following this lady that was driving them to their relative's house or go with the GPS.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody else did that. At least not that they showed.
No, they were the only one. Yeah, they were the only ones that asked somebody, and so they kept following the lady, and the lady was right, and it ended up being, way back on a back road that would have been hard for them to navigate on their own. So they ended up getting, somebody who took them basically right to the house.
Yeah, and they're in West Virginia, so there's a lot of, back roads and country roads and that kind of thing. So it worked out for them. Mm-hmm. And that those people were able to lead them to the house.
Right. I'm just glad they didn't.
Directly to the house.
Yeah, I'm just glad they didn't say they were going to follow the GPS when they thought they were going wrong.
Yeah, I'm always going to trust the locals.
And especially when you
GPS.
Say, I'm local, I'm from here.
And they're going to take you straight to it. I'm going to trust the local and keep an eye on the GPS to make sure, we're going in the right direction.
Yeah, so they didn't hesitate when they said the address. They was like, oh, yeah, we know where that is.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, as the team started arriving and to their parents' address, or their parents, not their parents, their relatives' address, they started, meeting their relatives. So we'll start talking about this in the order that it was shown during tonight's episode. So Team Black was the first team that they showed, and Casey met her brother on her dad's side. Mm-hmm. His name was Mitchell, and you knew right away he had the red beard, and so they were
yeah, once she saw that red, she was all in.
Yeah, and she was actually able to share with Mitchell that there was another brother that he didn't know about, the one that she met the last episode.
Shaw.
His name's Shaw. And so that was cool. So the film, we talked about this before, like this impacts more than just the contestants on relative race. It also impacts the others in the family.
In the family.
This is one of those perfect examples of that.
Because once they went out, once they met and everything, they went out for ice cream, and Mitchell showed her pictures of her brothers that he grew up with. So she has other siblings out there, and he showed her pictures of them growing up and what they look like now, and it was really special.
Yep. And then what about Team Red? I think they were next.
Yes, Team Red. Elizabeth met her brother, JJ. And she knew immediately when he walked out who he was, because he looks exactly like the pictures from when he was a baby that her biological father showed her on day 2. And so she recognized him and knew exactly who he was.
So did we.
Yeah, they do. I know I keep saying this, but they look just alike.
Yeah, they do. And they showed like them walking side by side, and I looked at Trisha and said, "They even walk alike."
It's so funny.
Yeah, that's crazy. but she's, meeting all of her family, which is what she wanted to do. I think it's awesome. And to see that, they're ready and wanting to meet these people, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And then Team Green, Monica met her sister Crystal. And Crystal is her older sister. I think, did we
she's
decide
the
on that?
younger sister.
She's the younger sister. And it turns out that they had been looking for Monica and knew who she was and had always wanted to find her.
Yeah, when she met Crystal told her that she had been waiting 20 years to meet her. I don't remember how old Crystal said she was, but she said she's been waiting 20 years to meet Monica. She said that she found out about Monica when she was 10 years old, and they talked about her often. And when she was old enough, she thought she went to Grand Marge that Monica met last week, her foster mom. She went over there and tried to get information from Marge about Monica's adoption so she could go find her, which I thought was touching because it sounded like she was either in high school or right after high school when she was trying to get this information from Marge. And I just thought that was so sweet that she was trying to find her sister. But Marge told her that Monica was the one who was adopted and she would have to come find them. But she always wanted to know where she was and try to find her.
Yeah, I think it's cool that these people they know who they are as soon as they get out of the car. Monica knew,
and she was already
right
crying.
away. She was crying before she got out of the car. And so I think it's pretty cool. These people they see these pictures and they have an idea of who these people are, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
Team Blue, they met their aunt, Joyce.
Yes.
Which is their mom's sister. And so they met and was able to talk with her.
Yes. And they were able to get more information about what it was like for their mom when they were taken away, because they had heard a story from their adoptive parents that she willingly gave them up, and it wasn't traumatic or anything like that. And their aunt told them that she was basically devastated when they came and got the twins from her, and she really never recovered from that loss, even to this day. Yeah,
and man, I just can't wait to find out more about their mom, because I don't know, it sounded like she had been dealing with some serious stuff from a mental health standpoint,
right? And I'm sure that's probably why, because they keep saying they were taken away.
Yeah, and so it's really weird, and it's not weird. It's just we just don't know.
Believe that there's so much more to their story and the mom's story.
And I think we talked. Maybe I mentioned that a couple of weeks ago, that their story, there was a lot to the story that we hadn't heard about yet. And I don't know, Trisha and I kind of was coming up with some
scenarios
of about their mom and what they were going to do. And I said, they may not even get to meet her, because if she's really having or still having mental health issues, which their Aunt Joyce said that to this day, she still hasn't gotten over that fact.
Yeah, that trauma.
This is gonna be interesting.
Right.
I hope they get a chance to meet her,
but they did get to see a picture of her for the first time.
True. Baby picture
and an adult picture. So that was really nice. So I just like that everybody keeps telling these contestants that people were looking for them and that they were always on their biological family's minds, and they never forgot about them.
Yeah, can't you imagine when you're younger, you're a kid, you're adopted, and your immediate thought is you weren't wanted by somebody, and that somebody who just willingly, gave you up or whatever like that. And then how many ever years later, you hear the words that we wanted to know you.
We looked
to
for
find you. Man, that's got to be a relief, off of those people.
We did something every year for your birthday. That is something that people that they needed to hear, I think.
Yep, a lot of people don't get that. And so I think that's pretty awesome. So before we get into the results of the episode, did you have anything else that you wanted to touch on?
No, I think that's about it.
All right, so the results of this episode was, I can't even say they were surprising, but I'll tell you that the team that won first place, I did not want them to win first place because of their attitude or her attitude, and that's Team Black.
Yes, they came in 9 minutes over their allotted time. So hopefully this gets them back into relative race mode and their competition mode goes down a little bit.
And not just beat Team Green.
Correct.
There's two other teams you got to beat.
That is true.
And so Team Black, because they won first place, their next day benefit is 5 minutes of GPS time.
And I'm guessing they think that's like real GPS time, not that little fancy compass that they've been using.
Hey, it might help them get out of town.
That's true. And they didn't say when they would get it. So I wonder if they get to pick when they get to use it.
Yeah, who knows when they're going to get it. So
I would use it after the challenge, trying to go to my relative's house. Yeah, that's what I would do.
But everybody else gets that option too. So that's not a benefit.
No, I'm saying if it's like real GPS.
Oh, if it's a real GPS, yeah.
Because I can imagine.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's can pull out my phone and use GPS like I normally do, yes.
That's when I would use it.
I'm most definitely using it at the challenge, after the challenge. So
but they can't write down the directions. Right. That was the part of it. They can't write down turn by turn. They have to just use the 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. And I'm almost like, it would kind of be hard to do, but after I got my relative's address, after the challenge, try not to use the GPS until you get a little bit closer, if you can, and because you only got 5 minutes,
right? And
most people are going to live more than 5 minutes away from the challenge.
Absolutely.
So if you can, and you can figure out how to get around town, and then as you get closer to 5 minutes, maybe that'll help get you to the relative's house quicker. So I don't know. That would be really hard to do, but if you could do it, do it. Second place went to Team Green.
Yes, they came in 13 minutes over their allotted time. So Team Black and Team Green, they were pretty close.
Yeah, and Team Black was excited. Well, Casey was excited.
Yes.
Like she really did something.
Yeah, she did though.
I mean, good. You got first place, and you did better than Team Green, but
yeah, and this is their first place, so
yeah, Team Green has really been rocking it.
Yeah, they've been doing really well,
and I certainly didn't pick them as a team that was gonna perform. No. So especially after day one,
yes, when I say they turned it around, because they've been in the top 2 every week except for the first week.
Yep. And so it came down to Team Red and Team Blue. And then in third place was Team Red, which they've been in third place every week except one.
That's when they got their strike. Yeah.
And so I think the thing that's hurting them the most are the challenges.
Yes, I agree with that.
So if they can get the challenges under control, they can start seeing some second places and maybe first places, because they really are cutting it close.
Right, but third place isn't really too bad to be in when there's still 4 teams.
I totally agree. They
came in 22 minutes over their allotted time.
And so, of course, Team Blue came in last place and got their second strike.
Yes.
Which is devastating to me.
It is. They came in 29 minutes, which is not that far off from Team Red, 7 minutes. So I'm sure that time that they spent dropping off that phone
might have hurt them a little bit.
Didn't help. But they, were not upset about it. They said that's what they wanted to do. They don't regret their decision, and they accepted their strike with Grace in class.
You know, sometimes it's more than the competition.
It is. So it is. And that was something that was very important to them.
Yeah, they brought the joy
to
their family that they just met. And that's worth something.
Yeah, because she sent a text later that night and said that they had dropped off her phone. They had fixed it. She was able to see all the videos and the pictures.
Yep.
And she sent them a couple of pictures of her mom. And I mean, that's what this race is all about. It's about family.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it is. So that is the recap of day 5. We are at the halfway point.
It's hard to believe it's been 5 weeks.
Yep. And honestly, we're still at a point where all 4 teams can get to the end.
Yeah.
Or get close to the end at least.
Or maybe 3 teams get to it instead of 2.
So we'll see what happens in the upcoming days. So, but anyway, we've really been enjoying this season, enjoying bringing you recaps of what's going on in relative race. We appreciate you for listening. Again, if you're enjoying what we're doing, bringing you relative race recaps, I encourage you to go and listen to our other content that we have on the podcast. Subscribe, follow, and share. Let people know what we're doing. All of our social media contact information is in the description of this episode. And we will talk to y'all later, right?
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
All right, y'all be safe, be healthy, wear a mask, vaccinate.
Bye, you guys.
Social distance.
Bye, you guys.
Wash your hands.
Thanks.
Do all that stuff. All right, y'all. See you later.